Your Excellency, thank you very much for joining us. So back in 2017, the UAE adopted first Minister of AI, making it the first world Minister of AI. And now we can see that this club of Minister of AI is expanding with Minister Madif also joining the club. So how do you think, what is, it's your season of career in life right now. What's your focus right now with 8 years of experience in this position already?
Thank you very much. It used to be a very lonely club. Now I have friends from all around the world, and it's very exciting to see how countries are embracing this technology.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the last 8 years, the UAE's journey when it came to artificial intelligence, the first few years focused on two things. First is empowering government officials to understand what AI is, to be able to embrace it more effectively. And second is focusing on the talent. So as His Excellency the President mentioned, the UAE has a university dedicated to artificial intelligence, which is the Mohammed bin Zayed University for AI. And we've done a lot of programs to get the populace ready for this new way. The second, let's say, 3-year cycle that we had was focused on embracing AI within government and actually deploying AI and seeing the results.
Yes.
So we've had multiple millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars of savings across the board on many different domains. Now, when you look at AI specifically, our focus is not just on economic returns, it's also on quality of life improvement.
So healthcare and this field, right?
Healthcare and so on and so forth. Now, the phase that we are in is in, let's say, global leadership when it comes to AI. If you look at BCG, for example, published a report on AI talent flows globally. The UAE ranks the first in the world on AI talent retention and one of the highest in the world on attraction of AI talent. And we want to ensure that we are the gateway for talent, but at the same time, we are a main player when it comes to this technology. So this has been our journey over the last 8 years.
So from your analysis, what fields do you think need more development of AI? What fields of government as well? Maybe it's healthcare or education, which has the best potential according to your
analysis? I think the level of maturity differs depending on first the technology maturity and second is the infrastructure within the government department itself. So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. A simple example, on infrastructure development, deploying AI is very easy because the information is very clear. The issue of hallucination isn't a big problem, and the savings can be measured effectively and easily.
Yes.
When it comes to healthcare, it's different because certain domains of health, AI is not very advanced today to the point that it can completely revolutionize healthcare. So I think it's a different, let's say, mix.
Now we are in Kazakhstan, in the city of Astana, the digital bridge. What insights from here and from our country would you perhaps implement in the UAE? So in our field,
I was very, very impressed to see the steadfast and laser focus of the government, really championed by the president himself on developing human capital.
Yeah.
And I think that this is the best investment to make. All the countries that focused on other issues, I think, came back to review their plans and actually see that the results were not as good as they hoped. But I believe that Kazakhstan is going to make leapfrogs when it comes to AI. In terms of things we can do together,
projects perhaps.
There are definitely a lot of projects, some of which you might have already seen, which is the partnership with G42 and FreeSite, and deploying AI in Kazakhstan. But I also think that the companies that are going to spin out of these centers of excellence, the students that are going to become pioneers in this technology, are going to come to the UAE and bring the incredible products there. I've also seen some incredible Kazakh companies that I think are maybe forward-looking, and we want them to come and open up in the UAE and expand to the Middle East through the UAE.
Especially in fintech, I think we have some great examples.
Absolutely. Fintech, by the way, I think that you are at least regional leaders, if not global leaders in this domain.
You already mentioned that you are putting efforts to use AI in all fields of the government, but when developing AI into these fields, there are also risks appearing with them. How do you foresee this risk, and which ones do you define right now? It's year of 2025.
So when you focus on quality of life improvement, the risks that come or stem out of deploying AI are usually lower than when you just focus on pure economic gains. Because on economic gains, yes, the numbers might make sense, but the social issues will be quite big. People will lose their jobs.
Yeah, that's
You know.
how do you manage with this, you know?
So we don't
risk?
look at controversial uses of AI. We are looking at quality of life improvement. If you improve people's quality of life, the outcome is usually a lot more beneficial than it is, controversial or critical. The other thing is, we in the UAE are not worried about looking at the results, seeing if it works or doesn't work, and then constantly iterating. This isn't a field that you can do something and expect it to be right from day one. You have to constantly monitor, you have to constantly iterate, and constantly improve. And I think that this is probably a model that would work for Kazakhstan as well.
Yes, I'm curious to know, how do you know the data about Kazakhstan? For example, we know how algorithm works, and it seems that it makes us fragmented. For example, me as a user, as a citizen of Kazakhstan, have another agenda, as well as citizen of UAE has completely another agenda. So we're getting actually further from each other. How do you think we can, still keep strengthening our digital identity when this data is usually based on Western media?
So I maybe would argue that it will not bring us further apart. It will bring us closer together.
Okay. And why?
In the past, the reason why you're saying that most of the digital platforms were based on Western values and Western information is because the West were the only people that could create them. With AI today, any person sitting, in their house with an access to the computer and the internet is able to produce content, is able to leverage and wield AI, artificial intelligence, is able to produce rather than just consume. And produce, by the way, on multiple fronts, whether it's producing high quality videos with the new text to video generation models, produce books and content, produce platforms, whether it's low code environments where people are able to prompt and actually have the code be written. All of these circumstances, you give the power to the people. I think this is what we were missing, especially in countries like the UAE and Kazakhstan. So we were always victims of whatever comes our way from the bigger players, social media platforms, big, production giants across Hollywood and, other platforms as well. Today, I think people have the power to create, and this will bring us closer because hopefully, and our ambition from this is that someone in Kazakhstan is going to create something that people in the UAE are going to use, where they'll understand the culture, they'll understand the beautiful history and heritage of the people of Kazakhstan, and vice versa. And with that, people are going to come closer. Yes, there will be challenges, but I think the benefit is always going to outweigh the challenges.
But what's the view of the UAE for the protection of using AI? Because it can be used as a weapon, it can be used within the political elections. How do you view that?
So a lot of countries have a very pessimistic approach to AI, very protectionist approach. Our view is we should not be on either side. We should not be blind optimists or pessimists. I think we have to be proactive, realists in the UAE, and that's the approach that we have. We always look for the opportunities, but at the same time, we acknowledge the challenges, and we constantly try to understand how to limit the downside and maximize the upside.
Yes, and the very last question, do you think AI tool can become smarter than human beings?
It depends on what you define as smart. So a calculator, to a large extent, is a lot smarter than many people in mathematics. Is it really smart? It's a question, right? It's able to answer the questions that you put in.
Yeah, the prompt.
It's a matter of what is intelligence. I think the definition of intelligence is constantly going to evolve. There's also going to be the outcome of what happens when you give the human the tool. So you give that sheer intelligence to the human at their fingertips, what they're able to create with it. And I'll give you a simple example.
Yeah.
So the theory of relativity was something that Einstein thought about. With all of the information that we have, if we give all of this to AI, is it able to actually come up with a theory of relativity? Some would argue no. Some would argue it will understand all the information, it will be able to categorize it for you and find trends, but not create something new. It's an issue that I think still will stand the test of time. We need to look at it. But I believe that an empowered human with a very smart AI agent is going to create a lot more than many people that don't use these tools.
About this trend, can you predict, for example, now the power is how exactly you put this prompt to robot, for example, how it will change over years, do you think? The trend, the focus of AI community.
Let's look at the past. The Dutch created the LLC, okay, the limited liability company. And with that, they were able to create the world's first mega corporation. So the East India Dutch company that spanned the whole world, right? AI and agents are going to allow people to do the next phase of this. So create new forms of business that can scale beyond just human requirements and physical boundaries. And I think for countries with the size of population of Kazakhstan, for countries that are like the UAE, where you have young people who are ambitious, I think the opportunity is endless.
Yes, and we can actually coexist. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
joining us.
Thank you.